Alright everybody, welcome to another video. Today we have a pretty simple repair. We're actually repairing this Allure. It's by NuTone, so kind of those basic brands like Broan-NuTone, and many other just single blower systems. This is a 30-inch range hood, and we're actually going to be replacing the blower motor today. So the part number for this unit is right there. It's SR99080535. As you guys can see, the blower motor, it's pretty heavy duty for what it is. You'll see on more lower end units nowadays, they're more like refrigerator fans, but this is like a full-blown like motor. I would say this thing is probably about 10 pounds. So what we're going to do, just to give ourselves a little bit of accessibility here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull out the range a little bit forward. Be careful of any gas lines or electrical connections. I think we'll have enough room to not disconnect the gas line, but yeah, we'll give ourselves enough room here. So we're going to bring you in close here. As you guys can see, the range hood has these grates on the bottom here. These are your grease filters, and your fan controls are here. So we just have the light on so we can see what we're doing. We can turn it on really, really bright. The fan is making a noise when it's at full spin. I wanted to just briefly pause and explain myself in that video because that wasn't supposed to happen. I was not expecting that to happen. It definitely caught me by surprise, but I'm going to explain to you why it happened. So what you have here, this is the actual schematic, the diagram, the full blowout diagram of the actual blower and the blower fan. So number 13 is the part that we're replacing here on the diagram, but number 16 is what fell out. What you don't see on the diagram is actually between the actual fan blade and the motor, there's supposed to be a little retainer clip, and I'll show you on the actual blower fan motor here where it's supposed to be. So right at the edge of the actual blower here, there's supposed to be a little retainer. You see that indentation right at the edge there? So this right here is supposed to have a clip connected directly to it, and unfortunately that clip was nowhere to be seen at that point, but we did find it later. And if you are looking for it, you actually, it's not on the diagram, but it is one of the parts listed. And I don't know why it's not on the diagram, because that would have been very helpful, but this is that retainer. So it's Romeo 99420635. If you can't find this part, because for some reason it says here it's no longer available, which it can be probably not available. It's a little small part. I would say it's less than 1 inch long. You can use any C-clip, and if you really can't find it, maybe put some epoxy around the motor or something along those lines just to retain basically from this happening. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys, so a little bit of clarification. Towards the end of the video, I don't really show that. I find this part later. The customer had it in a little baggie. I don't know why, but just wanted to show you guys. Okay, back to the video. So what we went ahead and did is we removed the little grease filters. That's the number one thing you want to do because you need to get access to the motor. So what's going on actually with this unit is when the customer turns it on, it's actually making a loud noise. It has to do with this blower motor that's spinning inside. There's something that's causing a rattle or something like along those lines inside the actual housing. So what we're going to do, the good thing here is there's actually a switch here that turns off the power to this actual unit. So if we were to flip this, you see it's going to go dark, and then none of the controls here work. Typical house in San Francisco to have switches like this for a basic unit as this one. You'll see on higher end units there might be a switch in a cabinet or something along those lines, but it's not as common to see them on lower end units like this. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull this fan out. It just slides right out like that. And then we're going to set this aside. Now there are 3 bolts here. and there is a main connector right here. Before I take the main connector off, just because of the level of grease that's inside of this unit, or just in general, you can see right here, look at that grease. So just that grease buildup itself is going to cause some issues with us regarding electrical problems. So we want to be careful. This is not the cleanest type of job to do. It doesn't matter what kind of range hood you're working with, there's always going to be some level of grease buildup, and when there is that level of grease buildup, you want to be kind of cautious about the electrical components. So I'm going to go ahead and get my little connector here for these bolts. I'm going to remove those out. So we're going to go ahead and take our impact. It is 3/4 inch bolts. I'm going to turn the switch off before I start working on it. Hopefully you guys can see. I'll toss the light on the ground here just to be cautious. I think you can see that better. I have you guys sit on a table, so it's not the best angle here, but like I showed you, is those 3 bolts that are here. You want to be delicate with it, because this is an area where heat is exposed to metal, and it can cause warping, and the last thing you need is for one of these bolts to snap off while you're taking it off. The new fan does not come with any bolts or anything along those lines. So if you don't have the switch that's here, try to go to a breaker, or sometimes above the cabinet of the units there'll be a plug. You can completely unplug the unit just to be safe. So this connector is going to have a tab. Let me bring the light. It's going to have a tab right on the bottom there. So what we're going to use is a little pick. Again, I try to be DIY friendly. If you don't have a pick, which I should have a pick, got multiple picks. Here's a pick. So if you don't have a pick, you can use like a fork, or maybe some type of it's a great magnetic flashlight, by the way. It's by Bosch. It connects to all the Bosch components for the 12-volt system. So what we're going to do, I'm going to press into the tab here. I kind of need 2 hands to do this, so I'm going to set you guys down, but what you want to do is you want to push on this tab and then pull this wire forward. So I'm going to push on the tab. I might need my little hook pick. Sometimes it can be a little challenging when the grease is built up there. There we go. And that's the old motor. So I don't hear any. There's a little bit of shaft play, so you can definitely, I don't know if you can hear on the microphone. So that could be one of the main causes of the noise. Let's see if the new one has that much shaft play. So the new one doesn't have as much, like I'm really pushing on it. So this one barely has any shaft play on it. There is 2 key difference. There's one big difference on this motor. You can see the capacitor relay is right on the motor right there. So that's actually gonna cause the unit to start up smoother, versus the old one. It doesn't have that. It's a internal coil system. Just a regular coiled motor, versus this one has the actual capacitor right on it. So we're gonna put it in the same way we got it. So like this. I accidentally pushed the light off. So wires on this side. So then we can plug it in to the connector right up there. Again, I need 2 hands to do this. You want to align your screw holes. So there's 1 screw hole. There's 4 screw holes, but you only need 3 of them. So just align them so you can bolt it back up. So I'm going to go ahead and align the motor just like that. Grab my impact. I don't want to cross thread it, so I'm going to be delicate with it. Just get it screwed in slightly first, and then we'll give it the full torque. Okay, second one. The last one in the back. And we'll torque this one down a bit. You're impacting onto really thin sheet metal, so you don't want to give it too much. It really doesn't need that much. It's not holding anything crazy. The last thing you want is for the threads to rip off, and then it's just spinning in place. So, okay, so that's 90% of the way there. I'm gonna put this light back down on the ground here. The last thing left here this actually, it comes with 3 new bolts, which is cool. We're not going to use them. The old ones are just fine. Okay. And then we're going to grab our blower fan. And there is a proper way of putting this on. There is a bottom, and as you guys can see where the lettering is on this side right here, this is going to be the bottom. So this inserted part is going to be what's going to go upwards like this. There is a little key, so you can see there's a flat side and then it's round. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's flat on one side and then it's round the rest of the way. So that's going to correspond to a flat side on the actual motor and then round on the rest of the way. So when you align this, you're going to align it just like that. There you go. Push it all the way up. And that's pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and we'll give it a test. Oh yeah. So much more quiet. It's running great now. So we'll go ahead, shut that off. And then we're gonna put the grease traps back on. These are grease traps. The grease traps are super simple as well. There's these little tabs over here. You just align this side stays towards you, the one with the little tag on it. And these go in just like that. Pop right in, and when you take them off, actually, tabs on this side, sorry, tabs on the bottom. And when you take it off, you actually pull this tab and it comes right down. So those tabs are to help you take it off. So again, same thing here. Put this on, and that connects just like that. So we went ahead and we pushed the range back in here. Again, these are the lights, and this is the fan. It's super quiet now. You can barely hear it, which is great. This is exactly what the issue was. So we have that all resolved. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, and we're more than happy to answer any questions. You can also send us an email, text message, whatever you want. Email will probably be the best, and also if you comment on the video, we'll try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much.